Good morning, buongiorno, buenas noches. Welcome to Life Lessons Straight Up with a Twist. I'm your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so excited and grateful that you are here with me today. Now, as a reminder, this podcast is unedited because life is unedited. So if I mess up, I say the wrong word, oh, that's right, I'm human. Just like you. So as always, we'll get started with a question, and whichever activity you engage in for self-reflection and introspection, please feel free to do. So whether that's writing in a journal, recording yourself speaking, and recording yourself saying your responses out loud, do whatever works best for you. So today's first question is 5 minutes enough? Is 5 minutes enough? So this question came up recently in a workshop that I was doing, and I'm just laughing because it also comes up in a lot of different ways, but particularly I wanted to bring it to the podcast for this reason. So one of the attendees was like, she really wanted to get outside more during the day. So a lot of the focus of lifestyle design in any workshop that I'm usually a part of has something to do with health and wellness, just because mental health, physical health, emotional health, social health, spiritual. I'm trying to make sure I hit all of them. That's really where I've really designed, my life, and really had the opportunity to have some fantastic resources in people, in books, in just different knowledge that I'm able to share. So usually health and wellness is kind of like the overall industry or overall, overarching conversation. So this particular time, she was mentioning for her physical health and her mental health, she really wanted to get outside. And of course, we start the questions. So my first question was, how long would you, want to get outside? And she says, I'd really like to do like 30 minutes to an hour a day. And this is where I'll pause for a second, because all of us, myself included, this is just as much for me and my personal growth as it is for you. But we all get into this situation where we put this huge goal for ourselves. Like, I don't know why we do this. I'm sure I can find a resource as to why, but we always say like this crazy goal, right? So from the outside looking in, when she said, I want to go walk for 30 minutes to an hour, my next question was, well, how much do you get outside right now? How much do you walk outside right now? And she said, well, I don't. It just, I never, I have so much going on. I'm working from home. I have the kids, and it's too much. And as I'm listening to this, I knew what my response was going to be, but I still asked her just to kind of flush this all out, because that's really what it is. You're asking, or I will say it myself, I'm asking these questions for the individual to come to their own self-discovery, right? I'm not giving you guidance. I'm not giving you advice. I'm just asking questions. What you do with the questions is up to you, right? So, long story short, I asked these series of questions, and the overall consensus that she gave and the whole deal was, I want to get outside for, 30 minutes to an hour. I just feel like I need to do that. And so I suggested, how do you feel? Something like that. How do you feel about starting with 5 minutes? And her immediate response was, oh, that's not enough time. So I just want to make sure you caught that. And I'm sure you have also found yourself doing the same thing. 5 minutes. Oh, that's not enough. Or kind of almost dismissed it. And we can talk about this in sense of maybe a task as well, but to stay on this particular topic, 5 minutes seems so easy Like that's just not enough. And my response to her was, well, right now, your time outside is 0. You don't walk outside at all right now. So 5 minutes is more than 0. And so that's one of the reasons I really wanted to bring this topic of time. You know, the time we invest, not the time that we spend, the time we invest on whatever it is that we want to do is very, very, very important. And so really think about some of the things that maybe you've wanted to, start doing or maintain, and you give yourself this crazy goal of time. And a crazy goal of time in your life could be 30 minutes, right? Because if you already if you're currently spending 0 minutes meal prepping, right? If you're currently spending 0 minutes walking outside, if you're currently spending 0 minutes doing yoga, meditation, mindfulness walks, et cetera, or whatever it is that you actually want to do and incorporate into those areas of your life that matter, if that amount of time is 0, any number above 0 is something. So I really, really challenge you to think about some of the tasks that you've put off because, the day got away with you. The day got away from you. I'm horrible at saying, so don't just know it'll probably come out wrong the first time, but I'll get it. But really, really challenge you to look at this in a certain way and think about, okay, yes, 5 minutes seems like a small amount of time. But if you're able to get outside, let's say your particular goal is walking outside, right? Spending time outside of the house. If you start with 5 minutes and you continue with that 5 minutes, however many times during the week, that is still more than you were doing before. So it is something. So it's really this concept of something or nothing rather than all or nothing. So really challenge you to explore this question of, where can I, and it's not necessarily the amount of time, but another way to think about this could be, where am I thinking about something that I'm doing, something that I want to do, a goal that I set for myself, and that baby step feels like nothing, right? Like where is that? And really explore what that is really about, because if it feels like something you're throwing away, like, oh, well, it's only 5 minutes. Why is it only 5 minutes and not 5 minutes? I'm going to spend 5 minutes to meditate. I'm going to spend 5 minutes to walk outside. I'm going to spend 5 minutes to put on a soca song and dance while I'm washing the dishes, right? So definitely explore this. Take some time to really think about it and experiment with this, right? Turn on, if you're the type of person, you're crazy like me, put on a timer for 5 minutes. I'll do this all the time, and there's a sink full of dishes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to take forever. Put on a timer for 5 minutes. I bet the sink may not be empty at the end of that 5 minutes, but it's not going to be full, right? Same thing with anything that we just kind of feel like, oh, I don't know if that's not enough time. Put on a timer or put on a 5-minute song and really experiment with that. You'll be very surprised. It's really the small little baby steps that we incorporate that are really going to add up to whatever that change is. And in the long run, especially when you're thinking about things like working out or exercise, like I trick myself into this almost every day. I say, I'm only going to do 5 minutes of stretching. 20 minutes later, I'm still working out, right? So those are the questions I have on my heart. Really explore this and share this podcast if it's helpful. Thank you again for being here. Rate and review wherever you're listening. And until next time, take care.